Hey, Soap Squad. Welcome back to the channel. Today is a fantastic Thursday, and we are gearing up for one of the most emotionally devastating episodes of the entire summer. Let's start with some surprisingly good news before we get to the heavy, tear-jerking stuff. On Thursday, July 23rd, Sean Brady is finally laying all his cards on the table. He sits Jada Hunter down and completely confesses his true feelings for her. You guys, it sounds like Sean is legitimately falling head over heels for Jada. And honestly, I am so here for it. I know there are a lot of diehard Shell fans out there who desperately want Sean and Belle to work things out, but let's be real for a second. That relationship has been incredibly toxic for years. Sean has been through so much trauma, and Jada is exactly the breath of fresh air he needs to finally heal. Remember their explosive chemistry on the 4th of July when they made love during the fireworks? That wasn't just a random holiday fling. That was the start of a real, mature, grounded relationship. It actually gives me major vintage Bo and Hope vibes. Two dedicated cops, finding love and solace in the middle of a chaotic town. I think Sean is finally ready to move on from his past, and Jada is the perfect woman to anchor him. It is about time Sean got a storyline that doesn't involve him being miserable. But while Sean is finding his happiness, his ex is getting an earful of absolute crazy. Stephanie Johnson is spending her Thursday venting to Belle. And I am willing to bet my last dollar that this is yet another unhinged, paranoid tirade about Joy Wesley. I have to be brutally honest with you guys right now. I am completely over Stephanie's victim mentality. Yes, she went through a horrific kidnapping with Owen Kent. Yes, her PTSD is very real and very tragic. But her actions lately are completely inexcusable. We are talking about a woman who maliciously intercepted and deleted a frantic voicemail from Joy about a car crash involving baby Kelsey. She put an innocent child's life at risk, all because she was insanely jealous of her husband's baby mama. And now she has the nerve to complain to Belle about Joy. Stephanie has completely lost the plot. She is spiraling into this dark, dangerous state, and I honestly think she needs to be locked up in Bayview before she does any more damage. I feel so bad for Belle having to sit there and listen to this delusional rant. Speaking of the fallout from Stephanie's madness, Chad DiMera is stepping up to be a sounding board for Alex Kyriakis. Alex is feeling completely torn on all sides right now, and you really have to feel for the guy. On one hand, he is desperately trying to salvage whatever is left of his crumbling marriage to Stephanie. But on the other hand, he has this beautiful baby girl with Joy, and his protective instincts are in overdrive. Alex's entire life has been defined by his deep-seated abandonment issues. Remember how his biological mother, Angelica Devereaux, basically tossed him aside? That childhood trauma is the driving force behind everything Alex does today. He absolutely refuses to be an absent father to Kelsey. Chad knows a thing or two about messy family dynamics, tragic romances, and co-parenting, so he is the perfect person to talk Alex off the ledge. Chad has been through hell and back with Abigail's passing and dealing with the DiMera curse. But here's the kicker. I don't think Alex and Stephanie's marriage survives this week. The trust is completely gone, and once Alex fully grasps the danger Stephanie put his daughter in, it is going to be game over. Now, let's get into the really juicy, heartbreaking stuff. We need to talk about Kristen DiMera and her daughter, Rachel Black. On Thursday, Kristen shares an incredibly sweet, tender moment with Rachel. According to the spoilers, Kristen is hugging Rachel tightly and telling her, "You are my heart and my greatest treasure." She looks her fragile daughter in the eye, and tells her that she wants her life to be bright and beautiful. On the surface, it sounds like a beautiful mother-daughter bonding moment. But if you have been watching this show for more than 5 minutes, you know exactly what is really happening here. Kristen DiMera is saying goodbye. She is planning to ditch her daughter and flee Salem forever. And you won't believe who is watching this entire exchange. Brady Black is standing in the doorway, watching with tears streaming down his face. Brady knows Kristen better than anyone on this earth. Despite their incredibly toxic, destructive history, they share a bond that can never truly be broken. As Brady watches Kristen hold Rachel, he realizes that this is a final farewell. But why is Kristen running? Let's connect the dots, guys. Kristen murdered Rachel's best friend, Sophia Choi. She threw that poor girl in the Salem River to protect her own twisted secrets, and now the walls are rapidly closing in. Plus, she tried to have EJ's son, Johnny, assassinated. EJ is currently on a violent warpath, preparing to kidnap Kristen and make her pay with her life. Kristen knows her time is up. She is a total monster, but her love for Rachel is the one genuine, pure thing about her. Leaving Rachel behind is the ultimate sacrifice for Kristen, and Stacy Hyduck is going to act the absolute house down in these scenes. I think Kristen's plan to run away is a huge mistake because she is severely underestimating EJ. Kristen thinks she can just pack a bag, slip out of town, and disappear into the shadows like she did back in the 90s. But EJ has the entire DiMera enterprise at his disposal, and he is out for blood. A lot of fans think Kristen will successfully escape to a convent in Italy again, but I actually think EJ already has his trap set. I predict that Kristen won't even make it out of the city limits before EJ's goons snatch her up. But the real tragedy here is Rachel. That poor girl is already in a mental health facility, grieving the death of Sophia, and now her mother is abandoning her. The psychological damage being inflicted on Rachel right now is setting her up to be the next great Salem supervillain in about 10 years. Mark my words. But if you thought Kristen's goodbye was sad, you are not ready for the Carver family drama. Let's talk about Lexie and Abe Carver. On July 23rd, Abe and Lexie are gathering their loved ones to renew their wedding vows. It sounds so romantic, right? A beautiful celebration of a legacy couple that has survived literally everything Stefano DiMera could throw at them. But there is a massive, dark secret hanging over this entire ceremony. Lexie knows that Dr. Rolf's resurrection serum is failing. She is experiencing terrifying neurological symptoms. The Versavix glitch is back, and Lexie knows she is dying all over again. She hasn't told Abe. She hasn't told Theo. The only person who knows the agonizing truth is Marlena. Lexie seems to want this vow renewal as one final perfect moment with her family before she bails. Yes, you heard me correctly. Lexie is planning to run away with Kristen. Can you believe it? Lexie is so terrified of putting Abe and Theo through the trauma of watching her wither away and die a second time that she would rather disappear into the night and let them think she abandoned them. It is such a classic Lexie move. She has always tried to protect her family, even if her methods are completely misguided and illogical. She thinks she is sparing them pain, but in reality, she is about to cause them the ultimate unforgivable heartbreak. I am just screaming at my screen. Lexie, tell your husband the truth. Abe just reconciled with Theo last week after that whole messy DiMera CEO betrayal. The Carver family is finally united, and Lexie is about to shatter it all by running away with a fugitive. Lexie and Kristen have a long, complicated DiMera sisterhood history, but teaming up now is just a recipe for absolute disaster. But Lexie's grand plan to run off with Kristen isn't going to work out. The spoilers confirm that Lexie is not going to make it out of Salem. Instead, tragedy strikes right at the altar. During the vow renewal, Lexie's failing body finally gives out. She is going to collapse right in front of Abe, Theo, and all their horrified guests. Imagine the sheer terror of that moment. Abe, looking into the eyes of the love of his life, ready to promise her forever, only to watch her drop to the floor. Theo, who just got his mother back, watching her slip away again. It is going to be a frantic, terrifying rush to Salem University Hospital, and my heart is already breaking just thinking about it. This catastrophic collapse is going to be the catalyst for the biggest explosion of rage we have ever seen from Abe Carver. When Abe and Theo find out that Dr. Rolf's serum was a complete failure and that EJ DiMera played God with Lexie's life just to prove a point, they are going to absolutely destroy him. EJ thought he was being a savior, but he has essentially tortured the Carver family for his own ego. I predict that Abe is going to use every single connection he has, the police force, the mayor's office, the ISA, to completely dismantle EJ DiMera and everything he stands for. And honestly, EJ deserves it. Bringing someone back from the dead without perfecting the science is the ultimate act of DiMera arrogance. This entire storyline is a brilliant, devastating callback to Lexie's original tragic death from the brain tumor years ago. The writers are hitting us right in the nostalgia, and it hurts so good. I don't know if I am emotionally prepared for Thursday's episode, but you better believe I will be glued to my screen.